So the field that I'm currently going to go in is owned by a farmer. It's a love-hate relationship. I love his fields, he hates me. I always end up finding some sort of coins in his field. So there's a lot of activity there. Now I've got permission in the 3 fields next to him. He has 2. The 3 fields next to him I have permission. All the other farmers up and down here all know me very well and they're absolutely fine with it, but he just will not let me in the field. It's not used for anything. He doesn't put crops in, he doesn't have animals in. Look at that. Look at that. So yeah, normally what happens is I go in his field or I just walk across it. The first couple of times I just walked across and he chases me down the road and he knows exactly where I park. My van's there at the same place every single time. And he comes up to the fan and he always just, even though he's just chased me out the field, he always says, what have you found? What have you got? So at the same time he doesn't want me in there, but at the same time he doesn't tell me off that much for it. So it's like a carry-on film. So I'm going to try and get in there today. It is cold, quite icy ground, wet. So I'm only going to spend maybe 2 hours. But this field has come up with a lot of coins before, a lot of Victorian activity, so we'll see what comes up today. I'm also going to go along this beach here. I'm going to start off on the beach, then I'm going to head over towards the fields. So yeah, hopefully it's a good day. There's a pelican down there, I don't know if you can see it. There's more over that way. Probably can see him on the shore there, but he's down here all the time. It's quite abundance of life down here. We get a ball wave. It's quite still today, but you do get a ball wave here. It's quite rapid, moves across there quicker than you could actually run. We've got a viaduct over in the distance there. That was the old Victorian railway. So there's steeps of history around here. There's been Roman, Viking, Saxon, Roman, Viking, Saxon, Victorian. Been quite a few histories found in this one location, so it's rich with history. It's just avoiding this farmer because he's angry. Because battery life's not great, and because it's cold it drains it quite quick. So like I say, each hole I dig up, I'll show the footage of it and we'll see what we've got at the end. If the video does go, I'll just record it all once I get home and see what I've got. So a lot of people asked me last time what I meant about discrimination on the iron and how I weren't picking it up. So basically iron will come through there at about 4, 5 roughly. So I found some here, and as you can hear, it's a dullard. So there's the spade and there's the iron. It's a broken sort of grunt, it doesn't like it sort of thing. So that's how I missed quite a lot of it. Now don't get us wrong, if I dug that up, that could be something really important, but you generally find it's like farmers' tractor bits or plough bits or something like that. Now I could dig it up, it could be a rusty sword, it could be a piece of history, but you've got to dig about 90 holes to find that one, so I leave them, but it just makes it a lot quicker. Now with the Simplex you can obviously discriminate quite a lot, so you can go through all the menu and there's your iron notch. So if I turn that right up it will ignore iron completely. I like it to come up so I can go back across. So that's obviously all metal mode, but field mode, forest I think, and sand. The sand obviously has got a lot of minerals in, so it goes hectic. But yeah, normally what I do is put it on there and just go with it. So that explains the iron and why I missed quite a lot. What I always use alongside this is a pinpointer. Now a pinpointer, when you get in a hole, as you see here, you've got to break the mud up, put it in front of the metal detector to find anything. With this you can sort of pinpoint right to the point and just dig that little bit out. It saves so much time. They're worth the weight in gold. Plus I've got a little torch on, but whenever it hits like a metal object, try and find one here. You can see it sort of goes off, but these are really worth it. But I've just got a 50 on there 45 to 50 is quite a good reading. Not sure what it is. It's not gold, it's not silver. It could be a penny. Around about the 65 is my favourite number to get because it always comes up with a penny, but we'll get this hole dug because it's just gone off and we'll see what's here. I always take the it all out in one so I can just shove it straight back in, but we'll see whereabouts we are now. So some of them you can dig down like that one and just not find absolutely nothing. Whether I maybe flicked it off or I've dug it further, I'm not sure, but there's no point in spending about 3 days on one hole. As you can see there, that's where the hole was, and that's where the hole's now covered in. You can't even see it. So just had that 80 there, dug the hole out, there's the top to go back in, and I believe it's in here. Here we are. I've had quite a lot of aluminium out of this field, so I expect that to be something of the sort. It's got grooves on there. Now, if you ever dig up lead, you should always unravel it. Oh, I'm going to be careful with this because it looks like it's fragile, but if you ever get, it could be a butterfly knife. If you ever get any lead and it's rolled up, always under old dust in the inside, so they did keep it in there, but I'm not sure what that is. We'll clean that up, but so basically what you do, fill back in the hole. Makes no worse mess than a mole would, apart from you've put it back in. The mole hasn't. And then all I do is this bit here, I flick back onto the top, press the sides in so the grass and the mud has a chance to grab on, and that's basically how I leave it. Not actually sure what that is. Thinking a bit of, actually I'm not actually sure, a bit of brass. Dare I say it? A round? No. Maybe off a brooch or a pin or something, but that'll clean up quite nice. There's a third find. Bit of aluminium by the looks of the way that's just bent. And cheap metal anyway. When I first got into metal detecting, I didn't realise what this would do. Now I had the old plastic, which is the same as this one. The top is now strengthened as well, but the old one was just a plastic bottom, and it used to, when I went across, it would flex a bit to the point it would make it beep 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 beep, and it used to irritate me. So I got a carbon fibre shaft made, and it is since, yeah, there's no beeping. It's absolute class, but what a difference that makes. So if anyone's looking at fixing that, there's carbon fibre shafts available out there. I think that was about £38, but it was worth it. It really was. What a difference it makes. And plus as well, then you've got your other one as a spare. This is my favourite numbers. Around about the 60s. Around about the 55s to the 68s. 62, 68. So I'm going to dig this one. I reckon this one's going to be a coin, but Now what it's worth doing is when you actually get a reading that way, it may be broken. Sometimes if you just step 90 degrees to the right and take another one, because the thing is, if a coin's in the ground like that and you're going over the top, you're only catching that bit. Whereas if you went from the side here, you're hitting more of an object and it gives you a better reading. So if you ever have flutters in your readings, that's why. 9 times out of 10 the coin's straight up. But I'm going to dig this one, like I say, I quite like the 60s, so 66, 68. Fortunately it weren't a coin, it's just another piece of metal again. And sometimes, like I say, once you take the top off and you get down to the next bit, the metal detector gets a better reading of it. Now as soon as I did that, it had 91 written on it, and I thought, but sometimes if you get a 65, 68 and it is a coin, it will stay 65, 68 all down to the bottom, so it's not always bulletproof. I used to have the knocks, and with the knocks you listen to the sounds more than anything else, and with that I could get a good reading for the metal. With this one, I'm still getting used to the sounds as well as the visual, so I have got headphones for it. When the headphones are in, you do hear a lot different bell ringing. But on to the next hole. Quite a few planes around today, no farms though. So I've managed to find something. I've got it in my hand. Let's put this fly in here somehow. Looks like a cap of a round. Not sure if it's old or new, but it's not really an area for shooting, so it could be dated. We'll get that cleaned up later. 5th hole. So here I've dug up some hot rock. Now it will give a reading. It will come up as you can hear, it sort of skips, normally around about 8, but it's giving me a 4 there. So hot rock is basically a stone that contains minerals, either gold, silver or copper, but it has trace amounts for it, so it's not really worth your time. So I'm going to put that back into nature. I just thought I'd show you that. I dig up quite a lot of them, but as you heard there, you get a sort of broken, instead of the normal, you get like a staticky sound. So I always know that that's that, but can't be avoided. So there's Scotland. I'm currently on the English side, and this is my normal beach that I love to detect. Quiet, rarely anyone down here. What a beautiful day. And the Battle of Sark was actually fought on this, in this water here. There used to be a bridge across, and there was 3,000 Scots, 5,000 Romans. Battle of Sark. Might be wrong about them numbers, but it's close. And the Scots actually won because they pushed the Romans back into the water. But it just goes to show, over there used to be Redkirk Chapel, or Redkirk Chapel, or something along them lines. And basically the erosion of the water actually took it into the water. So what they had to do is, all the dead bodies, there's another graveyard further inland, they actually had to reposition the bodies, but there was a collection point for the king in that chapel, and that actually went into the water as well. So all them coins, Don't get us wrong, metal detectorists will probably add them out at some point, but there's so many coins in there. There's a website called Pass Maps, and what you do is you go on there and you can put in your area that you're looking at. And what it'll do is you can flick the grid, so you can change it from either like 1900s to 1908 maps, and it will update what was in that area at that time. It's quite interesting. I dug up a guy's field recently with permission, and he didn't know that there was a Victorian rifle range and a Greco-Roman wrestling ring in that area, and I only knew that because I looked at the map. So Pass Maps it's called. And as you can see over there in the distance, there's actually Burns Walk Hill, that Roman fort that I camped on. Yeah, I could sit here all day long. Most peaceful place I know of. Well, it is, and there's the Victorian Watchtower. Now, the strange thing is, I used to metal detect on the beach that's further down there. And one day I just thought, well, I can imagine a little boy or something along them lines to go and watch for the ships coming in, and then him losing his coin sort of thing. And I'd never ever found a penny by that point, an old penny. And literally about 13 steps away from there I had a new penny, quite a nice one as well. So that was quite fascinating. It was just, I had the thought in my head and then it sort of came true. But there's one side and there's the other side. So you can imagine why the Romans and many other histories liked this point. It's like Burns Walk's on fire. So I just dug this up here. It's a bit of lead, but the colour of it, it's like it's painted. Now I found quite a few Victorian pendants that are in shape of sheep or rams or chickens or things like that, and this is very much along those lines. I've also found some round spules, fisherman weights, Victorian style. So this is definitely Victorian. As to what it is, I don't know. It may have a design on later, we shall see. But that's the 8th hole that I've dug. Still in the same field. I may head down onto the beach soon, just have a little wander along there. I normally get quite a few coins off the beach. I was hoping to get a few more coins out of here. Now obviously the difference between the beach and this is the beach, the coins on there are quite corroded, whereas in the ground they come up quite nice. Especially if they're gold or silver, they'll come out exactly how they went in. So on to the next. So I just started to flip this one out. Straight away I saw the coin. Let's have a look what it is. It's not what we want, I don't think. At first I thought that was maybe a penny, but it's looking more as sixpence. Good old spit. Here we got on the back. So just clean this off. Yeah, it's Elizabeth. I think it is just a penny. Let's see if we can get more detail out the front. Yeah, it's looking more like a penny than a sixpence. I've had a few sixpences out of the area though, but yeah, there's one penny. Well, it's a coin, but it's not old. Bit better cleaning. It's 1 pence, as you can see there. Now with the beaches, you treat them a bit differently. Obviously, it's got mineral in the sand that I'll show you actually. Ugh. So if I just turn this on to normal mode, obviously we've just been in the field with it. Because of all the magnesium and all the other minerals that are in this, you're going to get static. So it's picking up all sorts, although there's probably none there. Hang on. Little bits of iron. So what I have to do is turn it on to beach mode, and then I ground it. So that's now grounded. The lower the number, the better on the beach. So I'll let that settle. Sensitivity's there. Turn sensitivity down 1 notch. And there we go. So if I do come across any metal, but it's not picking all the interference up. Now another tip with the beaches is, you're not going to find out in this. Don't get us wrong, you might get the odd few things that have sunk down, but the water normally takes it away. So each tide that comes in, as it comes in, all the goods and all the metals and etc. get caught up in these rocks, and then the tide goes back out. So the rocks is where you want to go. I've spent no end of time looking on this, but it's just not worth it. The beach is actually looking very snazzy with all the colours today. So yeah, bit of advice, always head for pebbles. Now down that end, where that little girl is, as you can see on the right there, I used to come to this place religiously every single day, and all those rocks are the ones that I've put there. Each day I used to throw a rock, and then I went by it one day and I realised that actually it's quite a giant heap of rocks. So yeah, where they are is all rocks, and I'm guessing the tide only brings them up in certain areas, so it's probably strongest over there. And this is what I was on about, where I can find coins there, but down here I'll only find bits of metal, and that's because the tide comes in that way and it's stronger, so it can chuck them out there, whereas down here is where all the rest of it's carried. So I'm just going to have a quick scout on here, just a quick walk up. Don't usually do this side, but thought I would because it's looking very nice today. Waves will come up here at night, so whatever's in them fields will eventually end up in that water. I like to say, try and find stony areas like this. This is exactly where you get it, and I always go to where the last line is. I'm not right now, but it's not long come out of here, so plus as well, I know this beach quite well. Every beach is different, every tide is different. Let's see what we find here. So here I am on the beach, just found a coin, thinking it's a penny again, but it's still nice to find coins, even if they are modern. It gets the heart racing. Now where I'm at, that's an old, I'm guessing a furnace. I don't know what it is. I've asked quite a few locals, but what I'm guessing it is they used to light this on the inside, and it would warn the ships from the corner, or maybe low tide, I'm not sure. But and there's the watchtower, and like I say, just behind it is where I found my first penny. But yeah, it's quite a messy dig. You can see there, you get quite a lot of clay on you, but I found no end of stuff on this beach. So I'm going to have a quick scout up there. I'm not going to record much because my phone is getting messed up, but tide's just going out, and then I'm off to find some oak wood for the Viking Yule on the 21st. So made a good day of it, but yeah, not bad to get out with this again. Like I say, the first lockdown I probably spent about 8 hours on this beach alone every single day, and I mean every single day. But I'm going to see if I can come up with any more. If not, I'm going to head home, wash these up, and as you'll see in the video later, you see what we found. But not too much to write home about, but at the end of the day it's still something, and every time I find stuff on here I'm clearing it for the next time so that all the rubbish is gone, so you're not re-digging the same stuff. I've been out with people and they've put it straight back in the hole, and I'm thinking, what was the point in that? One, you're littering, two, you're just putting rubbish back into the ground for the next generation to find. It makes no sense. But yeah, that's definitely looking a bum penny. But there we are, on to the next. So here we have all the finds that I got yesterday. This is just obviously a bit of tin. Could be an old, I don't know, ration tin maybe, but it's got the grooves along there, so I'm guessing this was found all in the same field, so maybe just scattered pieces, or maybe run over and drug along, but not sure what that is. That's a mixture of metals, so again, unsure what it is, but it's miscellaneous. They were 2 pennies, modern pennies. This I found quite a few before. I'm thinking it's a tent pole, an old style tent pole, and the other one would twist onto there and extend out. Some sort of pole anyway. This is definitely off a curved brooch. Thinking brass, maybe a mixture of other metals, but it's quite solid and it curves as well. Now this is quite interesting. This is that bit of lead that I found. It's definitely been manipulated into some sort of shape. What that's for, I'm not sure. Maybe needle threader or something. But so this, I'm thinking, is World War II. It's the primer assembly at the bottom of the round. People call them bullets, but they're not known as bullets. It does have a, if this will focus, it has a rim edge there, which would take it to around about World War II. It does have markings on it, although I can't really see them that clear. I did notice a T on there. Now that would normally stand for tracer, but I'll get this one cleaned up a bit more. But yeah, not a bad little hoard. Like I say, I was in that field for about an hour. Successful day. That one's catching my eye for some reason. But yeah, until next time.